I going on too long here? I want to read you something, though, about Dick. Now, I want to say first, Lynn Cheney was, and as far as I'm concerned, will always remain a friend of mine. I don't think she necessarily feels that way about me right now. She's a brilliant scholar. She's no question. No. Dick, I don't understand. What happened to him? I quote Madame de Staël: "Men do not change; they unmask themselves." And I think that's what we had in this case. But this is what I say about Cheney. Clearly, what we've had in Dick Cheney is a high-maintenance vice president with an exaggerated sense of al-Qaeda's outreach and/or his own importance. His daily motorcade to the office, from the vice president's mansion on Massachusetts Avenue to the Eisenhower Executive Building next to the White House, a distance of little more than 2 miles, consists of anywhere from a dozen to 18 vehicles, sirens blaring, tiring up traffic at the peak of Washington's morning rush hour. It's all of a pattern, of course. Now this is, I do not consider, some people have said this is not over the top. I'm going to cite something that's actual fact. I'll tell you what's over the top. It's what Cheney has done. It's all of a pattern, of course, a bizarre manifestation of the full moon paranoia we first witnessed on 9/11. The day the vice president gave orders that Air Force One, instead of heading directly back to Washington, route the president to a military bunker in Heartland, Nebraska. Following that, there was the disquieting business of the vice president's need to hunker down each night at some undisclosed location, while the president himself, oblivious to any black-hooded jihadists snaking through the Rose Garden, had no problem putting in 8 hours sleep at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Now this is what I consider over the top. This is finally, we saw the federal passion for fail-safe security descend to parity when Cheney was nowhere to be seen the night of the 2002 State of the Union address. The stated reason being it was considered high risk post 9/11 for the president and vice president to show up in the same building at the same time. I worked for 2 vice presidents, Spiro Agnew and George H.W. Bush. And if I said, I don't think we ought to go there, Mr. Vice President, because I will be blanked if I'm going to let those blanks direct what I do. But this is what Dick Cheney did. We all saw this. This is what's over the top. The vice president was not sitting behind the president that night because he thought it was unsafe. This is what his thinking was. Given the possibility of al-Qaeda slipping past the Army, Navy, Air Force, Secret Service, and FBI to plant a bomb in the U.S. Capitol, we need a backup plan. The President, the Congress, the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, and the entire Foreign Diplomatic Corps might be in smithereens, but the Republic would stand because, Plan B, somewhere out there at a location yet to be disclosed, President Cheney would be on the phone telling Air Force One where to pick him up. That is not what's over the top. We all saw that. It was like an elephant in the room. The press didn't comment on how in the devil could you say, I'm not going to go, I don't think I should be in the same room with the President of the United States. And we've seen that since. And if it were personal, it would be one thing. But I believe it carries over, and I think it carries over into his vision of U.S. foreign policy. Now, I could keep on here for a while. I want to take your questions. I could keep going on indefinitely, but I just like to let me sum it up here and then fill in with by answering any of your questions. Am I, having been disillusioned and more by what I see in the Republic, the course the Republican Party has taken, and the conservative movement it has taken in the past 10 years, do I see any hope? Well, only if this were to happen. First, I say the Republican Party has to die and be reborn. A Barry Goldwater today would never be nominated by the Republican Party. I noticed, if you probably read in the paper, Rudy Giuliani, a man whom I have no particular love for, I might say, politically, but he's taking heat right now because of Planned Parenthood. Well, Peggy Goldwater, I mean, right off the bat, that would have killed Barry, because Peggy was known to be strong on Planned Parenthood. But this is what I say. This is what I would look forward to, and then a Republican Party that renders unto Caesar and unto God, but on separate days of the week. A Republican Party that sees America as a beacon, not the policeman for the world. A Republican Party wedded to the economic realism of Milton Friedman and Herb Stein, not the irresponsible debt and deficit economics of Arthur Laffer and Robert Mundell. A Republican Party that sees family values as something for the family, not the state to define. A Republican Party alert to the danger of, this phrase, by the way, is Dick Cheney's, what we need, of a robust executive authority. And in answer to your questions, I'll go into a great deal of that, of the concept that this administration has of centralized authority, which is everything we were, a strong, powerful Washington, which is everything we fought against back in 1964. And of those who, in the name of saving freedom, would destroy it. Finally, a Republican leadership that sees power in a free society the way Barry Goldwater saw it, not as an end in itself, but as a means to an end. And with that, I will stop my rambling and take questions.